Welcome to State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. We're coming to you from the NJTV Agnes Ferris studio in beautiful Brick City, Newark, New Jersey. We're pleased to welcome Jose Lozano, President and CEO of Choose New Jersey, which is Choose.
It's a not-for-profit organization responsible for attracting new businesses to New Jersey and marketing the great assets we have.
We're actually collaborating with Choose and also the EDA of the state of New Jersey and a whole range of other folks on a series called The Future of Innovation. Jose, you are wearing something on your left lapel, if we can get a shot of that. That has something to do with innovation and Edison?
Yeah,
it looks like a light bulb to me.
It is a light bulb. It is a light bulb. It's commemorating the 140th anniversary of the light bulb being created right here in New Jersey by Thomas Edison. And it's intended to be a conversational starter with the intent of showing folks and reminding folks that there's a rich history of innovation in our state.
Is the whole idea of Choose, it's a private organization. I want to be clear. Right. This is not a government agency.
Correct.
The governor, who nominates, by the way, people to be on the board of Choose?
The Choose board of directors actually appoints the CEO, and then the CEO builds out the staff.
Got it. So, attracting business to the state, keeping business in the state. You just had an initiative together with the folks over at the Commerce and Industry Association in the state. That was called Explore New Jersey?
That's correct.
What was it about?
It's coming off of the heels of Select USA, which was down in Washington, D.C., and it attracts companies, foreign companies that are looking to invest and plant the flag in the United States. And it allows the states to showcase some of their great assets that we have. And CINJ had a great idea.
Commerce and
Industry had a great idea to actually team up with Choose NJ to try, on the heels of the conference, and folks on their way back to their countries, stop by New Jersey for 2 days and actually explore firsthand some of the great things that we have.
What were they curious about our state? Did they ask about our taxes?
Actually, not many of them did.
Come on, Jose, come on.
No.
We're noted for that.
Yeah, we're noted for that, but so are companies internationally. If you start to look at what other countries tax their private entities and their companies, it's fairly significant. But companies are looking more for their talent, they're looking for location, and they're looking for kind of a community and a culture.
Okay, I have to get at this. The whole question of tax incentives, it's not the job of Choose New Jersey. But since I said this initiative around innovation in the state, the innovation economy, which the governor talks about,
That's right.
It involves some degree of tax incentives. We're not going to get into the back and forth, who's suing whom, what the courts have said just the other day, what might be overturned, and the petty politics that sometimes goes on in Trenton. But I am curious as to the role of tax incentives. Didn't you go out to California with the governor to deal with the film industry coming here? Aren't tax incentives part of that?
Absolutely, 100%. Tax incentives are a part of the formula. It's a tool in the toolbox, but we need to remind folks that it's not the only tool. We have spectacular assets in New Jersey that we need to start to lead the conversation with.
Name a couple.
We need to start off with our workforce. We have some of the most talented workforce in the country. We have the largest concentration of scientists and folks with advanced degrees than anywhere else in the world. We have a great proximity and location. We are right next door neighbors to the largest market in the world and the fastest growing market in the world. We have great modes of transportation between Amtrak and airlines and NJ Transit. We move products and people better than no one else. And so we need to lead off with some of the great things that we actually have and use the incentives as a latter part of it is almost like sales 101.
What do you mean? Isn't that the lead? Isn't it, like the whole Amazon deal that went bad in New York? Wasn't that the key? Without the tax incentives, without the tax breaks, they're not coming.
Right. The lead should be what we can provide you as assets to your company to grow your company and ensure that it's successful. And incentives should be the last part of the discussion, not the first part.
You don't lead with it?
We never lead with it. At Choose New Jersey, we never, ever lead with it. We lead about the location. We lead about the workforce. We look at what your company needs to grow and flourish, and we actually pitch you in that sense. The incentives are much later on. Last year alone, Choose New Jersey helped to attract 45 companies to New Jersey, of which 40 of them never needed an incentive. Only 5 did.
Bigger, smaller, middle size?
Small to medium size. But at the end of the day, the small company to grow here is what we're actually looking for. Now, It doesn't mean we don't want a large company.
Don't you want the ones with the bigger, with more jobs?
Because at the end of the day, it's cheaper for the next Facebook to grow in New Jersey than to attract Facebook to New Jersey.
I'm not even going to get into the whole Amazon thing, what you think of it. It's a New York thing. By the way, look at our website. We did steveadubato.org. Jackie, please put it up. We did a comprehensive discussion on the Amazon deal with Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill. It's important stuff, and it has implications here. Jose, let me do this. I'm curious about this. I would be remiss. Previously, before you became the head of Choose New Jersey, you were the head of the transition team for Governor Murphy. Let's just say there was a fair amount of media coverage. There may be more, we don't know. The state legislature examined the situation involving the hiring of Al Alvarez at the School Development Authority and a case involving Katie Brennan in which she alleged she was sexually assaulted. It's going back and forth. We'll see where that happens. But the legislature put out a report that said, you know what? There are people that should have known that this guy, Al Alvarez, who is saying that he did nothing wrong, by the way, I want to clarify that. The point of this question is this. It was unclear who hired him, and a lot of the legislative report that was put out, and Senator Weinberg talked about this a lot, it was unclear. You were one of the people named as to who potentially hired this guy, Al Alvarez, accused of Katie Brennan, complicated, I know, of sexual assault. What do you take away from all this? And what should we take away from all this?
Steve, I have full respect for the legislature and the legislative process, but I respectfully disagree with their assumptions, and unfortunately, that's all I'm going to say about it.
That's it?
That's it.
We'll continue to follow that story in the news. One more quick one before I let you go.
Sure.
There's the whole international thing that I'm curious about. Yeah. There's a Bio International Conference. What is that? When is that? Did that just happen?
It did. It just happened. We had over 20,000 individuals descend on Philadelphia from companies from life sciences, small
why Philadelphia?
to large. It hosted it. You know, when you have 20,000 folks descending on a city, there's not many cities that actually can host that. And Philadelphia was one of them, which was a wonderful year. New Jersey's showcased the history of its life sciences, and we had the great honor that this year our governor actually won Bio Governor of the Year, which is a huge distinction in the industry.
Give us a real quick, before I let you out of here, real quick description of the so-called, quote, innovation economy. You say, you're at a cocktail party. I know you don't drink, but it's a joke. So they say, what's the innovation economy? You say?
Innovation economy is something that we once had, and we are trying to regain it. It's in a healthy balance of some of our strongest assets. It's from the life sciences all the way to advanced manufacturing to tech. We've got the workforce to actually build what is a true state of innovation.
And by the way, we look forward to having Governor Murphy talk for himself about the innovation economy, because he's the one that is saying that it is a key to it. Choose is a part of it, the EDA, the Economic Development Authority, and when we disclose again that Choose is one of the many colleagues and partners we have in this innovation initiative. Jose, thank you for joining us.
Hey, thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
Stay right there. This is State of Affairs. I'm Steve Adubato. This is NJTV in beautiful Newark, New Jersey. By the way, you guys are based here in Newark.
We will be shortly in a couple of weeks.
That's a good thing. We'll be back after this.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 30 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of State of Affairs with Steve Adubato has been provided by New Jersey Sharing Network, Johnson & Johnson, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, Keystone Mountain Lakes Regional Council of Carpenters, Suez, Wells Fargo, and by University Hospital, Newark, New Jersey. Promotional support provided by NJ Advance Media and by AM 970 The Answer.